We are not going to sit down and have you divide this nation with your unintelligent rhetorics. If you want to talk, get intelligent. For the sake of power, we won't sit down for you to take us back to 2 BC. I call on the national security to take this guy quickly. Because what he's saying, before you realize what Black Rasta is saying, we would have been arm in arm against each other, with flames kissing our cringing brows. My brother, I hear your people want to even remove you as the minority leader. You deserve to be removed. You are the author of confusion. And at this point, we disown you. Afenyo Markin, Ghana's Bástard MP. My brother, my sister, what does the dictionary say about the word bastard? When you call someone a bastard, what does it mean? Let me take you to the Oxford Dictionary. And it says, bastard is derogatory, an unpleasant or despicable person. Or, if it's of a thing no longer in its pure or original form, is being debased. So if I say you have been bastardized, it means that you have become impure. Your original form has been denatured. If I call you a human being a bastard, it means you are very unpleasant, you are despicable, and that is who Afenyo Markin is. My brother, my sister, we're looking at the word bastard. And in Ghana's parliament, there is a bastard in there. Dash it away. Now, who is this bastard we are talking about? His name is Alexander Afenyo Markin. He is a cause trouble in the Parliament House of Ghana. I don't know what he thinks of himself, but if we allow this guy to continue in whatever he's doing, he's going to bring a civil war into this country. That is why I am angry this evening. He's supposed to be the minority leader of his party. The party that disappointed Ghana for the 8 years it was in power and has nothing to show except arrogance and bastardization of our country, our land. This is Alexander Afenyo Markin. My brother, my sister, in times gone by, he has been overly controversial. I don't know what it is with the opposition. They are not interested in the country moving forward. They are more interested in the country crumbling down like cookies so they can regain power. And when people start having that mentality, they are bastards. They are not ready for the forward movement of this nation. When Kwame Nkrumah announced that we were an independent nation and that we must look forward ever, brother, my sister, he was talking about development. He was talking about how we could move from one pedestal to the other in a forward motion. But people like this, my brother, my sister, are not ready to deal with the reality. All they are interested in is confusion. The more confusion they can create, the more relevant they become as leaders. And I am sad, my brother, my sister, to talk about this. I chanced upon a video, and the video broke my heart. This guy here is supposed to be half Fanti and half Ewe. Or half Ewe and half Fanti, depending on whether the glass is full halfway or it is empty halfway. This is the guy we're talking about. Alexander Afenyo Markin. Let's go straight up to the video. We will watch the video, open all our senses wide and listen attentively when we come, the forensicity begins. Can I say that word again? The forensicity begins right after watching this video. Watch this, my youth.
The name Kotoka International Airport, Accra, is already there. Accra is already there. So you don't need to remove Kotoka's name from there. So if you come to Accra, or even in the country, how many prominent Voltarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region. And that one too, they are being denied. Well, Honorable Kwame Agbodza is from Volta. Honorable Okucheto Ablakwa, he's from Volta and is sitting in cabinet. Honorable Fifi Kwete is the General Secretary of NDC from Volta region. Honorable Ahiafo, he is the first Deputy Speaker in this government from Volta region. Honorable Kwame Eche, the Femepo, Majority Chief with from Volta region. And they are all sitting down watching the government to take away a Voltarian's name, which has been given to our airport, and successive governments never made any attempt to change it. And in this time and age, they are from Volta. And
what does he eat? What does he drink? Where does he sleep? Common sense is not a friend of this guy. He's intentionally, my brother, my sister, trying to bring a civil war in Ghana. Instead of arresting Ebonoa, this is the guy to arrest. He was the one who marched his people, a bunch of whatever you want to call them, to prevent that guy who said there was so much cocaine. My brother, my sister, in 2 planes that had come to Ghana, Reverend and Tim Fodio. My brother, my sister, these guys are behaving like the NLM. They are not interested in anything productive and progressive. Listen to the childishness, the wickedness, the Boko Haramness with which he spoke. And this guy is supposed to be called an honorable. Did you hear him, or you want to hear the tape again? Brother says that the Kotoka International Airport, so-called, was named after a Voltarian, and for that reason, the name should remain by virtue of the fact that we don't have so many national edifices that have the names of Voltarians. Tribalism, dichotomized, far away from heroism. This is no longer heroism. It's no longer achievement. It's no longer the content of the character. It's simply trying to glorify tribalism. That's what this guy is doing. And take it from me, if we don't deal with things like this, the nation will go up in flames. My brother, this guy behaves as if he's intelligent, but he's the least amongst intelligentsia. And I'm angry. My brother, a few years ago, we had a certain plebiscite that was signed between Kwame Nkrumah and the Voltarians. The Northerners were also brought in to be part of this country. In order not to bore you with a long history, we had some Voltarians crying that they wanted to leave Ghana. We all remember how their leader passed on only a few years ago, and it looks like there has been some level of calmness. The Voltarians have been speaking to the Northerners to come together, so together they will break away from Ghana, as originally They were not even part of the country called Ghana from the beginning. It took people like S.S. Alassani, S.D. Anto, and the rest of them, my brother, my sister, led by Kwame Nkrumah, to convince all these people to come together under one banner. I won't go too deep into the history, but if recently Voltaireans have been agitating to leave, and this is the Christmas message that Afenyo Markin has for Voltaireans, mentioning the names of Voltaireans in the Parliament of Ghana, inciting them to rise and fight against the change of the name to a befitting one. According to him, we don't have too many Voltaireans whose names are on national edifices. My brother, you know how many ethnic groups we have in Ghana? Do we have all the ethnic groups represented in terms of having their names on national edifices? Should your name be on a national edifice before you are called a hero? I'm asking, and again, what heroism in Ike Kotoka is being celebrated? Can I know? Kwame Nkrumah built an airport. He named it Accra International Airport. He was overthrown by a man, and the name was changed. And the coup maker's name was slapped on this wonderful national edifice that Kwame Nkrumah built. Common sense must tell you that it's a slap in the face of reality. Common sense must tell you that this cannot be done. A rapist cannot come into my house, kick me out of the house, rape my wife, maltreat my children, and the name that I've given to my house is now changed and renamed after the rapist. I'm yet to understand this. Now, this change of name, is it about Voltaireans or is it about philosophy, history, and above all, nationalism? If we all have agreed that Kwame Nkrumah is one of the greatest Africans we have ever had, celebrated by BBC, celebrated by world leaders and beyond, celebrated even by God, and you decide that an edifice that he built should be named after a coup maker that took him out, it's sad. What point is Afenyo Markin trying to make? Incite Voltaireans to pick up arms and say, okay, we are leaving Ghana. We don't want to be part of this. Look at the Herculean task it took the Ghana army to be able to subdue that insurgency. Today, this bastard in parliament comes out and all he's saying is that we don't have too many Voltaireans. For that matter, let that Voltairean name be there. There are statues in honor of Kotoka. My brother, my sister. There are great heroes who could be celebrated. There are roads all over Ghana named after Jerry John Rawlings. Not one, not two, not three. A number of roads. Jerry John Rawlings Road. My brother, my sister. Jerry John Rawlings is from the area as well. There are other great, wonderful, my brother, my sister, great and wonderful Voltaireans who contributed to the upliftment of the image of this nation. If we are talking national development, let us look at it in that aspect. What Afenyo Markin is doing, my brother, my sister, is trying to incite the Voltaireans against the NDC that is in power. And the Volta region is seen as the World Bank of the NDC. So when he succeeds in doing this, he would have broken the link between the NDC and, of course, the Volta. And for him, he would have succeeded. After all, they don't want to see anything called development in Ghana. Mahama has been voted the 5th most important leader in the world when it comes to development and change making. That is not enough. No. All this guy is looking at is to have confusion brewing and things will happen. My brother, there are a few people with diverse ideas. There's a gentleman called Professor Kweku Annan, a man that I respect so much. I hear. In fact, he has also said something. What has he said? Watch this. A nation that is at peace with itself does not spend its time endlessly renaming landmarks. It spends its time understanding them. The renewed call and bill to rename Kotoka International Airport is not really about aviation, transport, or national branding. It is about how we choose to relate to our past, whether we engage it honestly in all its complexity or reduce it to slogans, moral shortcuts, and selective outrage. This is Kweku Annan talking. He's not in support of the renaming. We all have opinions. My brother, let them name a university, Atai, University of Science and Technology, and see how many people go to that university. Would you want to have the tag of an alumnus of Atai International University? Professor Annan, it goes beyond just renaming. There's everything in a name. My brother, my sister, there's everything in a name. When a man becomes a Muslim, one of the first things they do is to change his name to give him a more positive name. True or false? When a man becomes a Christian, they tell you about a man called Jabez, and that the name Jabez meant he was born out of pain of labor. Pain. And the Bible tells us that this kind of curse of a name followed this man all the way from the beginning until he decided to change his name, and things worked. We don't want coup makers to be celebrated in our nation. Rawlings was a repentant coup maker. My brother, my sister, he came in with a gun, but after some time, we all can attest to the fact that he became one of the doyens of democracy in our country. In his own small way, he at least led us into some form of democracy before he departed. What did Kotoka do? He caused a distraction in our economic and political history. He boasted to BBC that should Nkrumah make a mistake to come home, he will be given a red carpet. Today, if the whole world is celebrating Nkrumah, and the nemesis of Nkrumah also has a shadow lurking behind, then we are a cacophonous nation. Totally confused, hypnotized, flabbergasted. In fact, we are all students of foolishness. Can I go further? As a student of history, my brother, in Europe a few years back, you know what they were doing? They were going around breaking statues of rapists who were celebrated in Europe. Can I tell you more? Come here. In Europe, from Belgium all the way through Norway and even England and America, advocates, activists of sanity went round breaking the statues that many people had celebrated In Ghana, we also did our own. We broke down the Mahatma Gandhi statue. You know what that means? We do not want to celebrate these people. That's what it means. We broke down the statues. We are retelling our history authentically. They say that until the lion learns to write his own story, the story of the hunt, the tale of the hunt would always glorify the hunter. Hunters have told our stories all this while. It's time now for us to tell our own story, the lion style. What is good about celebrating Kotoka? That he boasted that he had all the juju in the world. He boasted that he was powerful after he took a big bribe from the CIA to overthrow his country's leader. Is that person a villain or a hero? And I hear Afenyo Markin saying we should celebrate his heroism. Cowardice or heroism? Do you understand the word hero? Do you or do you not? Do you know the history or you are history illiterates? I don't get it. Kotoka took money from the CIA. Not him alone. Some other people who joined him in that dirty coup d'etat, Afrifa and the rest. They took money from the CIA. And we got to know that from the declassified CIA files, which are now online for everybody to read. Read. Don't read only propaganda. Read history. Kotoka took a bribe and sold out his own country. When America came together and tricked Nkrumah out and used rodents like Ike Kotoka, J.A. Ankara, and all those other rodents to destroy our land. If you are celebrating Kotoka today, please, better celebrate Atai. Celebrate him. My brother, there's a lady who also thinks she has an opinion. And I believe everybody has an opinion. This is the woman. She's called Dansua. She speaks for the NPP. As you can see in the color of her dress. What does she have to say? Watch this. Next NPP government will remove JJ's name from national monuments. So you see, Afenyo market. These are the rodents that are following you. Can you see? You are fighting for Voltarians. Somebody doesn't see Voltarians as part of Ghana. She comes to say that they will kick out Rawlings' name because he was a coup maker. Yes, Rawlings came by the barrel of the gun, not once, twice. Rawlings shot and killed people, some of them very innocent, tried in kangaroo courts. At the end of the day, I am not a big fan of Rawlings, and everybody knows. But at the end of the day, Rawlings was a repentant coup maker. He helped in democratizing our nation. Hallelujah. He did. Should a man remain a sinner forever? Bob Marley sang in his song, One Love. Is there any hope for a hopeless sinner? If a man has sinned all this while, and then he begins to see the light, and he says, you know what? Let's hold on to democracy, and leads the path to democracy, and remains with democracy till his death. Should he still be crucified alongside coup makers? It's a simple question. But listen to what she said. So where are the Kotoka supporters? Why are you supporting Kotoka? People like Paul Adumochiri, they say, oh, Nkrumah became a dictator. Oh, Nkrumah, he destroyed the economy of the nation and he became president for life. Or better still, he wanted to be president for life. Again, oh, Nkrumah. Forget about Nkrumah. A man who never won any elections in Ghana. And he was sharply rebutted by one of his mentors, Kwaku Annan. My brother, my sister, he said Nkrumah introduced the detention without trial, president for life. And the only way he could be removed was through a coup d'etat. Bombs were flying around Nkrumah even before the independence of the nation. His enemies were chasing him, not because of some of these things Paul Adumochiri mentioned. I don't want to go into ethnicities, but my brother, until we decide to see ourselves first and foremost as Ghanaians, before Ewes, Frafres, the Gombes, Fantis, Bonos, this rhetoric that Afenyo Markin is bringing on board will continue to bastardize our nation. As it stands, my brother, my sister, there is a guy from Mohammed's government who is also sitting somewhere in the Volta region. I love the Volta region. I'm always in the Volta region. I think he's in Ho. He has also spoken. And what has he said? That changing the name of the airport would not economically help in any way. What is the importance? That's the question he's asking. And I asked myself, so this guy here, does he know the number of people who come to Ghana simply because they want to relive the life of Kwame Nkrumah? Do they know how many tourists come into Africa because of Kwame Nkrumah? Sadly, Kwame Nkrumah is even celebrated beyond Ghana. You go to Guinea, he's celebrated. There are schools that have halls named after him outside Ghana. In Russia, there were postage stamps that had his photo celebrated. Which country in the world has Nkrumah not been celebrated? There are streets all over the world named after Kwame Nkrumah. And we are proud of Kwame Nkrumah. We are not proud of the guy who curtailed our independence and curtailed our growth. Research has shown that if Nkrumah had been allowed to rule, Ghana today would have been a different nation. I conclude on this. When Nkrumah was in Guinea, he spoke during Christmas to the people. This was 1967. And you know what he told Ghanaians? He called those who overthrew him as fools. He said, we were on the threshold of achieving economic independence when those fools seized power so cowardly. And you know how he called those fools? The NLC, the so-called National Liberation Council. He called them the National Liars Council. You know why? Because they lied to the soldiers that Nkrumah was going to take them to Vietnam, was going to take them to fight wars. Nkrumah was thinking about Pan-Africanism more than thinking about Ghana. And they all rose against Nkrumah in that coup. So he nicknamed them the National Liars Council, headed by Kotoka and his boys. That was what brought J.A. Ankara into power, who also cowardly jumped through a window into the sea to run away from Yeboah and his boys. Long story cut short, bring him here. Bring that guy here. Come here. My brother. My brother. We are not going to sit down and have you divide this nation with your unintelligent rhetorics. If you want to talk, get intelligent. For the sake of power, we won't sit down for you to take us back to 2 BC. I call on the national security to take this guy quickly. Because what he's saying, before you realize what Black Rasta is saying, we would have been arm in arm against each other, with flames kissing our cringing brows. My brother, I hear your people want to even remove you as the minority leader. You deserve to be removed. You are the author of confusion. And at this point, we disown you. Dash him away.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.